What seemed like a casual moment aboard an American Airlines flight quickly turned into a headline. Meghan Markle, effortlessly stylish, walked the aisle, greeting passengers and leaving a handwritten note for the crew. To some, it was a thoughtful gesture. To others, it felt carefully staged. Another example of how public figures blur the line between authenticity and performance. Whether it was spontaneous or strategic, one thing's certain: the cameras were ready and the world was watching. But what nobody realized at the time was that this cheerful airplane moment was a full-blown smokescreen. Behind the scenes, the real turbulence. It wasn't coming from the plane, it was coming from the other airline, British Airways, and the crew from one particular royal tour flight. Whispers from behind the scenes began to surface, offering a more complicated picture. One crew member, speaking anonymously, mentioned that Meghan seemed distant during the flight. The nanny, not Meghan, handled everything but what truly raised eyebrows. The baby didn't respond to her at all. Now, one weird moment on a flight could be brushed off as exhaustion or stress, but this wasn't just a single incident. It was the final puzzle piece. In a theory people have whispered about since 2019, that Meghan Markle may have never actually given birth to her children. Enter DL, a woman whose name still remains hidden, but whose story is sending shockwaves through every corner of royal gossip. She claims she was hired as a surrogate by Meghan herself, not just once, but twice for both Archie and Lilibet. According to DL, the operation was like something out of a conspiracy thriller. She was flown into a hidden compound, stripped of communication and given strict instructions. Deliver the babies, sign the NDA, and vanish. No contract, no legal surrogacy filing, just silence. Dio says she went along with the plan at first, but when Meghan allegedly ghosted her after the second birth and erased any acknowledgement of her role, she snapped, "She's done staying quiet," has videos from the compound ultrasound scans, hospital records, all lining up with the exact timeline of Archie and Lilibet's births. She's even offering to take a DNA test saying, flat out, test me. Test them. Let's see who's lying. If it ended there, it would already be enough to detonate the internet. The deeper you dig, the weirder it gets. Remember that viral clip from Meghan's pregnancy days? The one where her belly looked like it folded in on itself as she bent down. At the time, it was dismissed as a weird camera angle or a wardrobe malfunction. But now, in the context of Dee's story, that clip has resurfaced with a vengeance. People are calling it the moment the illusion cracked. Add to that, the strange way Meghan and Harry released baby photos. Strategic angles, blurry shots, barely any full-face images. The now infamous photo of baby feet, sharp-eyed viewers claim those weren't even Meghan's hand. The skin tone, the nail shape, it didn't match. Then there's the allegation that Meghan didn't even attend the hospital for Lilibet's birth, showing up afterward just for the press photos. At first, these were just internet theories. DL's claims have made it harder to laugh them off if what she's saying is true. The whole Sussex story could unravel. We're not just talking about personal deception here. We're talking about royal succession titles and constitutional legitimacy. And suddenly, Meghan's carefully constructed image as a strong mother and public victim isn't looking so bulletproof anymore. The British Airways whistleblower wasn't the only one pulling back the curtain. Once her story leaked, other insiders started speaking out. Quietly, carefully, but with just enough detail to fan the flames. A royal aide reportedly said the palace had been concerned for years about the lack of medical documentation surrounding Meghan's pregnancy.
There's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
Not officially. Of course, everything was brushed under the rug in public. But behind closed doors, whispers, meetings, and contingency plans. And now, those private conversations are colliding headfirst with public chaos. DLS proof isn't just medical records. She has time-stamped footage of herself, visibly pregnant in a locked-down facility. She claims was arranged by the Sussex team in one clip. She's lying on a medical bed, clearly exhausted, murmuring the date and location into the camera. Her belly is unmistakable. There's no faking what she shows. Another clip features her holding a newborn, crying softly while masked. Nurse tends to her. If the metadata on these clips checks out, they could be catastrophic for Harry and Meghan, and she's not doing this for money. In fact, DL says she turned down multiple offers from tabloids, preferring to keep control of the story herself. No thank you. No recognition, just silence and discarded promises. What pushed her over the edge was seeing Meghan's latest interviews where she spoke tearfully about motherhood and being targeted by the press. DL said it felt like watching someone else wear her skin. Meanwhile, Meghan's PR machine is running hotter than ever. Within hours of the British Airways leak, her team pushed out a wave of warm and fuzzy family content online. Saw focused videos of the kids laughing in the garden, a syrupy blog post about motherhood and resilience, but Eagle Eye followers weren't buying it. People noticed that in one of the clips, the child who was supposed to be Lilibet didn't have Meghan's eye shape or even Harry's red hair. Reddit threads blew up, comparing photos, breaking down, bone struck, pointing out inconsistencies. And then there's the timing. Meghan's surprise appearance on an American Airlines flight just happened to line up with the leak. She didn't just bore and smile. She made sure every moment was captured her note to the crew. Her walks down the aisle, the chats with flight attendants. Why is she trying this hard to convince us? Sources say the legal team is reviewing succession law. Archie and Lilibet currently have royal titles, but if they weren't legally born of Meghan, and there's no documented surrogacy contract that throws everything into a constitutional tailspin, titles might be revoked. Their place in the royal line could disappear. It's not just family drama, it's governance. Harry, no one's sure what he knew or when some believe he was complicit. Others think he was manipulated, caught in a story he couldn't escape from. What's clear is that he's not speaking publicly, and when the silence is this loud, it says more than a statement ever could. All of this chaos has triggered panic mode. Inside Montecito, Meghan's team is reportedly vetting every former staffer, every old email, every slip-up that could come back to haunt them. Because if DL moves forward with a public test or a formal complaint, the Sussex aren't facing bad press. They're facing possible legal fallout.
Hard. I don't think anybody could understand that. But in all fairness, I had no idea, which probably sounds difficult to understand here. But when I first met my now husband, my friends were really happy because I was so happy. But my British friend said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life." And I very naively, I'm American, we don't have that there. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not in tabloids.
A legal storm is brewing, and everyone close to the situation knows it. Meghan's legal team is scrambling to get ahead of DLS potential DNA tests, sending quiet feelers to multiple labs in an attempt to block or delay anything public. According to insiders, they're not trying to disprove the claim. They're trying to buy time behind the scenes. Frantic meetings are happening around the clock. Not just in Montecito, but in London too. Senior palace advisors are reportedly urging King Charles to intervene before the headlines spiral further. One advisor allegedly warned, if we don't take control of this narrative, the monarchy might lose control of the line. It's not just about scandal, it's about protocol. The royal family has operated under centuries of rigid traditions, and the silence from the palace, once seen as dignified, is now being interpreted as panic back in California. Meghan, usually calculated and composed, is said to be unraveling. One former aide claims she broke down in tears after seeing a TikTok montage comparing DS pregnancy videos to her own footage from royal appearances. DL says she's not out for revenge. She just wants to stop being erased. Those kids deserve the truth, she reportedly told a friend, and so does the public. What happens next could redefine the royal legacy, not with crowns or ceremonies, but with DNA receipts and a secret finally brought to light.